Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
Our first speaker for today is Dr. Anitha. She's a Mexican American, is a transformational leadership consultant, speaker, coach, and she's the author of international best-selling and award-winning book, The Four Sacred Gifts: Indigenous Wisdom for the Modern Times. She bridges indigenous teachings with the latest science to inspire and equip women and men to enjoy meaningful, empowered lives and careers. So, today's speaker, Dr. Anitha, and her topic is humanity's hope in right relationship with people, earth, and the spirit. Over to Dr. Anitha.
Thank you very much. I'm just so delighted to be here. And I just want to thank you, Doctor, and all of you who will be speaking, and also just to say gratitude to all my precious relations who are listening, who are watching as this all unfolds, and who are giving their hearts and minds to bring this unity in our diversity, to bring this love to just keep expanding. So I first want to just acknowledge that, we all are gathered on wherever we're coming from on the ancestral lands. And I want to pay respect to the elders, past and present. Coming from Colorado in the United States, the lands of the Cheyenne, Arapaho, and Ute people. I am Aztec, and so I remember every day, and as I sit even here with my feet on the ground, gratitude to them. So if all of us could just take a moment to acknowledge and give gratitude, to stand on whatever land, sit wherever you are, breathe in this air, feel the power of the lands. I have mountains surrounding me, and perhaps you have water surrounding you. So in deep gratitude. And with that, I would like to call in, because as we share and invite people in from our various wisdom traditions, one that's very, very important to us is as an Indigenous person, is the four directions. And so every day I chant and I giving gratitude and thanks. And again, everything I'm sharing are things that you're probably already doing in your version in your life. So I invite that to happen more and more, that you don't have to be a professional singer. But at this time, that love that the speakers before and Harrison and everyone's talked about can come through in such a way when we sing. And so with that, I'm just going to sing Thank You, Great Mystery. It's in Seneca, My Relatives in the East, and it's also the messages from the wind as I've walked this land here for some 40 years. So first starting to the east. Da da ne ho, da da ne ho, nya nya, swami ho, nya nya, swami ho. Gratitude. And then to the south. Da da ne ho, da da ne ho, nya nya, swami ho, nya nya, swami ho. Gratitude. And to the north. Da da ne ho, da da ne ho, nya nya, swami ho, nya nya, swami ho. Gratitude. And to the west. Da da ne ho, da da ne ho, nya nya, swami ho, nya nya, swami ho. Gratitude. I invite you to listen with the softest part of your ears and an expanding heart to a prophecy that I want to share. As Indigenous people from various traditions, Prophecy is one of the things that help us to be in right relationship with ourselves, other human beings, two-leggeds, and all of our relationships. A prophecy is not a prediction of the future. Rather, it presents the probable positive or negative consequence of us heeding to the original instruction. And as we all gather here, we know that at the heart, at the core, at the foundation of this original instruction is oneness and connection to all life. That four-letter word, love. And so back in the 90s, there was an elder who is still present with us and very much doing great work in North America, Don Coyas, a Mohican elder. And he had a vision. And in that vision, Spirit told him, showed him with a tree changing its form, forming a hoop, one huge hoop, and then feathers coming, 100 feathers hanging from this hoop. And in that message, in that vision, he was told to gather elders, make the call out to all over the world, all the different directions. And so when he awakened, he went, as many of us do, and go speak to the elders. And he shared what he had experienced. And they said, you must do this. And of course, as a human, first of all, human being, he said, how am I going to get 100 eagle feathers? You know, the quandary of that. But nonetheless, he put the call out. And 27 elders from Asia, from Europe, from Africa, from all over the Americas, everywhere, 27 elders came. And during that time, before they came, the feathers started appearing. People started showing up. So indeed, the 100 feathers were there. And in that weekend, back in the 1994, there was no argument. There was no whose knowledge or tradition is more important. There was no separation. As Paris Ha talked to us at the beginning, it is one circle. No beginning, no end. And the circle, the hoop of life, is not like this. It's horizontal. No one's higher, no one's lower. Everywhere is the center, and there is no edge. And so they came, and they built this hoop and put the 100 eagle feathers. And at the end of that weekend, Spirit told them to put gifts in there for all humankind, because the two-leggeds had forgotten. They'd forgotten how to be in healthy relationship with themselves, other human beings, and with all of our relationships and the earth itself and spirit. So they began to put the gifts into the hoop for all of us. The first gift that they put into the hoop was the gift of the power to forgive the unforgivable. Put that in the ceremonial part of your heart. The gift of the power to forgive the unforgivable. The second gift that they put into the hoop was the gift of the power of unity. The gift of the power of unity. Put that into the ceremonial part of your heart. The third gift they put into the hoop for all of us was the gift of the power of healing. The power of healing. Put that into the ceremonial part of your heart. And then the fourth gift that the elders put in there for all of us was the gift of the power of hope in action. The power of hope in action. Put that into the ceremonial part of your heart. And you are already realizing you already have these gifts. And maybe what you're realizing is that one of those gifts is calling to you. Forgiveness, unity, healing, and hope. And the invitation is to use these, because the promise is from Spirit, is that you use these gifts, we will remember. We will remember how to create harmony and balance again. We will live the love that we are and that we're meant to spread. And so in the 90s, 1995, when I received this, when I was volunteering with Indigenous youth, teaching them things that I teach in corporate America, but how do you keep the values and your traditions in some places sometimes that don't hold the same. And this is when I received these gifts. And ever since then, for some 25 years, I began incorporating them into my own life, sharing them with people from the C-suite of international corporations to people in the depths of the Amazon, as we sit on the ground, giving gratitude to all our plant relatives and others, and everywhere, and in my own life, and I continue to integrate them. And so I invite you to heed this Ego-Hu prophecy out of whatever tradition you have, but just know that you are enough, that you have all that we need in this great transition to be a life-giving force to people, to earth, and to spirit. And so I want to share just a story about using this, because there's lots out about being one and being love, but these elders, the Spirit told them, because when they received these gifts, they thought, okay, I'll take this back. I'm going to take this back to my different part of the world, to my tribe, to my nation. And Spirit said to them all, no, this is not just for you and your tribe. This is for all humanity. And so in this room where I'm speaking to you, I have had very intimate experience with all of these. Forgiveness at the heart of it, with an early childhood of abuse, and then the murder, which was race-related, of my father when I was 13. So there's been a long journey in using this gift. But the gift that I feel coming from you all energetically who are listening is the gift of hope. And in this room is where 23 years ago, my youngest son had a blessing way. And an elder, Don Coyas, a Ute elder, performed that ceremony. And very quickly, because you're going to understand this, how it applies to you. Eddie Box began to, my son had his shirt off, and he began to take the dirt, he's only 20 months old, and put on the sacred earth, started to paint it on his body. My son, with his little hand, pushed it aside and put his fingers in, and he started making all these signs. And all of us were, including Eddie Box, the elder, kind of stepped back and just allowed him to finish. And then Eddie set him down, and he stepped back and started to play the drums and to chant. My elder son, who was 6 at the time, was sitting next to him. And my son, this 20-month-old, began to dance, but not like a 20-month-old. He began to do these movements. Some of them very much reminded me of nature. And he just kept moving. And I heard my older son say to Eddie Box, the elder, how does Nico know how to do that? How does he know? And Eddie said to him, the elders, the ancestors are with him. He's not forgotten. And you can remember too. So I invite all of you to remember who you are, what you are, that you are part of this one hoop of life, and that all of our ancestors are here to support us. All of our relatives, the plants, the winged, the earth, the birds, the animals, all of this is here supporting us. And with that support, even to the facts of the contrary, of some very difficult and challenging times that definitely my people are going through with this COVID and with the injustices that happen, we still sing, we still chant, we give joy in knowing that we are all one, and that love will always overcome, and that the light, if you don't feel it now, it is there, and that light is actually the brightest in the darkest darkness. So thank you, all my precious relations. Thank you, Dr. Yugandhar, and everyone for allowing me to share the message of the Ego-Hu prophecy. Aho.